This is an improv video because words are hard and I don't feel like writing anything down. Yes, I am a cat today. I'm always a cat. Sue me. Um, anyway, we're drinking something really, uh, responsible, I suppose, and also accurate for the video. Like, appropriate is the word I'm looking for. It's a very appropriate drink for the video. It is Bloom Zero Alcohol Sparkling Raspberry. It's like a gin tonic without alcoholic gin. It really tastes good. I like it. And with raspberry, it's great. Mm. But yes, today's video is like kind of like a follow-up video on the video I made maybe 2 years ago at this point. Jeez, I'm old. I was talking about a time where I went to a party sober and how I realized how weird drunk people are. Basically, that was the video, right? And now we are, I think 2 years later. I should find this. Wait, BRB. Okay, yeah, it's almost 2 years ago. I uploaded it on February 2nd, 2021. So that's 2 years minus 1 month, basically. Anyway, so what I said in that video was I was talking about a party that I attended to in July of 2020 where I was sober for the first time around people that were all drunk. And I noticed that it was very good for me, basically, and that I felt really happy that I was able to be myself around, because I noticed that alcohol for me is a form of masking, because I don't deal with like a lot of input very well, right? I am very sensitive to stimulation, so a lot of loud noises, people being weird, and also me trying to do a social, it's not really great. So in order for me to be able to mask, I then drink to do with like all of the input, but also so that I can actually function in a social environment. But what I noticed in that situation is that because I was with people that I trusted really well and I didn't really feel the need to mask around, I was able to be sober around them in a party while they're all fucking drunk. And it was kind of, this is just how I would word it now, but in that video I was kind of saying that, like, as a person with social anxiety, it was good for me to notice that I was able to do a social without being drunk, right? Well, we are now currently in January of 2023, and I have been sober for almost, like, coming up 5 months now, which is not easy, holy fuck, but yeah, a lot of that still rings true to me. Like, it's interesting to me that how I pointed out that it was really problematic the way that we as a society do with alcohol specifically. A lot of drugs are way too demonized in my eyes, and alcohol is not one of them. Alcohol is one that's overly accepted in my eyes. To the point that when I call myself an alcoholic, people say, you can't be, because you only drank like 1 or 2 wines a day. And I was just like, I didn't drink wine, but you know what I mean. Like, the fact that it's so normalized to be always kind of drunk, or like not drunk, but like always kind of like be sort of tipsy, it's weird. That's fucking weird. And the fact that like, I don't, like a while back I saw someone like, a real long time ago, I saw someone talk about like, how going sober for a month, they noticed how much like things were different if they weren't always kind of tipsy in the night. And that made me realize that a lot of people find it really normal to have 1 or 2 drinks a day. And then for a lot of people, that's not an issue. That's not them being alcoholics, which means that me calling myself an alcoholic, people are gonna be like, but you only had 1 or 2 night drinks a day. And it's just like, what I noticed just under 2 years ago when I wasn't aware. I mean, I was aware that the reason I went sober at that party was because I was worried about being an alcoholic. the fact that I was able to be sober for me said, like, okay, I'm not an alcoholic because this one time that it was really hard to be sober, I still did sober, so that's not alcoholic behavior. Um, that was enough proof for me to start drinking again, right? Okay, I did it that one time, so it means that I'm not an alcoholic, right? It's not as if I was not able to be sober, I would have stopped. At that point, I was just trying to prove myself right so that I didn't have to think about it. So, anyway, fast forward to now that I have finally accepted that I am a bit of an alcoholic. Um, it's interesting to look back on this because I made a lot of points that are really correct. How, like, we have a culture of drinking. A lot of people feel like a lot of people want to drink because they find it fun to drink. But a lot of people feel like they have to drink in order to fit in a party, in order to feel good at parties. Because something like our sober brains, maybe I'm talking from like a neurodivergent perspective here, I am, but like our sober brains aren't supposed to be in these really loud environments all of the goddamn time. The reason a lot of us drink is because to just deal with how parties are done. You can't do that shit sober, because it's just tiring, right? The only reason we're able to do a lot of our nightlife is because of the amount of alcohol involved. And that's not always bad, but the fact that it's almost expected that that's the way that you have fun in our society is problematic, especially in combination with the demonization of all the other fucking drugs. Like, that just is such a hypocritical position that when people stop drinking, especially when like assigned female at birth people with uteruses stop drinking, people start like, "Oh, are you pregnant?" Like, sometimes people don't want to drink, fucker. You know? The fact that it's so normalized that people are talking about when you are not drinking, the fact that when I say that I stopped drinking, people are like, "Oh, why?" They have to explain to people, "Oh yeah, because I'm a fucking alcoholic." It's not great. It's not great, and I think there's a lot to be said about like how we should combat that, because trust me, hiring the age that people like, making it harder for people to buy alcohol is not gonna help. Like saying, "Oh, we make it illegal for like 18-year-olds to buy alcohol." That's not gonna help, though. I think that it has to be a cultural shift, the same way that like you won't reduce like misogyny by hiring more female CEOs. You can do a lot of things with like laws, sure, but like changing culture, not necessarily one of them. Not necessarily something you can do with laws. Personally, I don't like laws, but that's just my anarchist point of view on this. Anyway, my point is, I feel like we should have more sober spaces for people to have fun, and more low-key spaces for people to have fun that aren't, "Let's play board games," because board games are fun for some people. I am not a board game person. I really love loud parties, don't get me wrong. But the fact that there is never a place that I can just kind of retreat when the noise is too much, and the fact that like there is almost an expectation of alcohol consumption, even though you can't really get away from it, and just being around people that drink can already trigger quite a bit. Even like places that are celebrating straight edge sometimes decide that alcohol is fine, actually, which I just find a touch ironic, let's say. Like, if you're straight edge, so you're aware of, how much, like, alcohol and other drugs can affect people, why are you being a hypocrite and saying that alcohol is allowed, not other drugs, though? We have a zero tolerance policy on other drugs, but alcohol, though, to a certain extent, that's fine. Do you just not care about alcoholics and making things safe spaces for us, or like is this just targeting people that make the choice to be sober? I mean, I made a choice being sober, but like that's not a choice I made because I'm like better than other people by not drinking. It's because like it was literally the one thing that was keeping me together in a lot of ways, and I was like, this needs to be different. I should not be coping solely by consuming the booze. That is bad. Um, but yeah, that's my little rant. I wish it was a bit more coherent. Um, Sometimes just need to talk though. So yeah. I don't think I have anything else to add to this. So yeah, talks. Cool beans.